Hey, good morning, everybody. I hope you all are doing great. Uh, I made some post in the development group yesterday about some automatic login system, and I spent a lot of time, about 5 hours, in make a code for it from the very scratch to the end. So not only the code will even assist you for the automatic login system and how to understand it, but it will also help you in a lot of areas, most especially in your own personal development. It's gonna help you. So I advise or encourage you, when you reading a code, you try to understand what it does, and then you can add to it and pick from it. But don't just go and copy without understanding what you're doing. You need to understand what it does. Okay, that's just the benefit of having a code, and try to understand before using it. So we're just gonna dive into it, and I just tell you how I work myself through every bit of it. Okay, so these are actually what I use in my development. And here, Pine Grove for my web design, and NetBeam for my development. So here I have two files that are for the configurations, and the other thing you need to do here is just change the relative link to the paths where your folder has been located in your server, either offline or online. It's just a relative link, so that's all. So these, I have a response code. I already defined some variable for my response code for the ajax, and here is for the PHP under the configuration file. And these are the connect database, the connection of database handle, the function, and here's a PHP mail function, a PHP mailer. Okay, so I already added 3 of the files. It's inside the include. You can see it here, and then you use your SMTP. It's just your username, password, and your host, which is the server host. I think that's how to write it. In your cPanel, just go to your mail, and then I think click on the mail you want to I think set up, or there's a way there, just write it there. I think it's different from different server. Just go through it, and then just add this 3 stuff over here. And here is from, once you send in a mail, how they're going to receive it, from whom, and the name. That's all, and you're good to go in setting up your mail. So you can always use just this little bit of code in handling your mail function. So I'm gonna tell you, show you another code here. So why handling your mail? I'm gonna scroll down and quickly tell you this. Why handling your mail? There's what we call ob flush, which is this ob start. You start and flush. So because it's a mail, most especially when you're using your what do they call it, when you're using json, because it's gonna delay the user, because you would not want the user to wait for the mail to successfully send before leaving the page to another page. Okay, it's not really advisable, user friendly. So that's why I added this tool for you. Before you start in every of your code that you're gonna send a mail, you just call in this function start, ob start at the very top, and then in every place that you echo out, after the echo you flush. So the system can keep on doing whatever you want to do while other things are functioning, even though they have to close the browser. Whatever is to be done will still pass through this ob flush and ob stats and finish it, even though they close the browser before it finish, or even though the network. As long as you've already started the process, and it will definitely finish. So that's what they do. Okay, so these are the general error handle for my JSON file. So this is just a JSON arrow. I already echoed it out to myself already, so I don't need to always echo every time. So this is an associative array that take the key and the whatever is referencing to. Okay, so this is the key, take the key and give me the response. So whenever I hit the message, it's gonna give me the message as a response as well. So it's just little. And this, I added a reference here for you to understand what the PHP reference means. It's adding an ampersand inside the parameters of the PHP functions. You should know, you will know if you read through all that, so you're gonna know with all the practical example, you're gonna know what I did here. If not, when the array is coming back, you know, is looping, so when it's coming back again, it will only be referencing one array. So with this, it's gonna ignore the reference and reference everybody that passed through this array. X, it will only bring out just one person that reference through this array. I don't know how to explain that very well through video. So here is just to set the correct page in the cookie. Okay, so which is the server link. There's okay. So let me start from up. Check login, the domain, which is here. Here, there's the domain relative link. So I collected it using globers. You should know how to collect that now because I'm inside the function. So if it's set, if this section is set, the section is referencing to, I should call it, this guy referencing to a class, which is the user class. These are all the variables there. So if the section referencing to this variable in a class, if it is set, then I want to move you to the home page, meaning this page is only going to be, this code is going to be in the login page. If the user is logging, I don't want him or her to be able to log in another time. You already log in. Just click the log out button if you want to log in again. So that's what it does. And the user already wrote some, you know, nice comments what they do. So this is exactly the same thing, just vice versa. If you're not logging, I want to take you back to the login page. You cannot access another page within your scope, within your guest scope, so you have to be logged in. And then the same thing, so this is checking for the HTTP request. How are you referencing the site? How is it sending data to me? Is it through the HTTPS protocol or the HTTP? So that's what this does as well. And then there's the URL. That's the function I used to pass this URL here. So I passed it, I collected everything, the substring URL -1, and then return the full character, full URL character. If it's equal to slash, which is the last guy, then I want to return the URL equal to trim. I want to trim from the right. I want to remove the right, trim from the right inside the URL. I want to remove this character. X, I want to return the URL just like that. So I did it here for you to understand. I just commented it out. And same thing as here. If the username is set, if it's set, then I want to check again if the server link is set. Then before I set the cookie, I want to check if the username is set in case I added this in maybe the login page. You understand? Okay, so it would not, once it is not set, it would not add the cookie inside the cookie section. As in, if I should refresh this page and go here, you can see there's the page link. As I mean, I want to go inside the home, it will send me back. So if I did not make here, if the username is set, as I try to access the home, you will see this place will reload again, which means it has set the cookie again. So I don't want that to happen until it is set, until you're logged in. That's why I did here. That's the same exact thing I did there. Okay, I don't know why this. Okay, so right here, so let me go inside this folder. So I just did the same kind of chunk of code here. There's a scroll to objects, selector, and callback. The selector is you know what it means. Selector, you're gonna select some object, form, class, whatever it is, and there's a callback. After scrolling, what do you want to do? Then you put a callback there. I've not used that at all since I even have that code. I've not used that. Okay, these are open loader for ajax. Once you click a button, so you should send, just the ajax should start working for you to know that okay, it is working, and you're waiting for some answer. And I say if disabled. The disable has nothing here, but it's gonna be a boolean attribute like if true. Just if true, or if disabled. If disabled is equals to true, things like that. Just boolean attribute. If true, it's gonna be like this. If true, and the disable is gonna be here. It's gonna reference here. If true, do this. S, do that. Just like that. And so if true, the parent finds submit, which is a class that I'll put at the button, and the button finds span. The HTML change it, and the image in the span remove the class hidden, which is the loader. Okay, so that's what we did here. I'm gonna close that, and this is the response message, which is the JSON response message. So I want to put the response message inside a class of check error here, and I want to put it inside the P, check error P, HTML. So the pass, which is this parameter, pass.message, because when you're receiving JSON, you can use any variable name you have given, like data.message, whatever it is, that message, that's JSON for you. Just read about it. It's not difficult at all. So this, I reference everything. Just there's the error messages, and as I go, you understand. I don't think there's much time for me to explain much better. So when you click, you can see the loader waiting for response, and now the response is back. Username must be given, and here if I say Peter, you can see. Well, what if I go back and in the function, I remember telling you what this ampersand means. It is referencing all the arrays within its scope. And if I should pull this, say username or password is incorrect, but I have one place left. Why is it taking the rest off? And if I should click this, you can even see there's nothing again. So that is what it is meant for. If you understand reference, and it's not in all arrays that you need to use it, there is how you use it. So I already added it in some reference link. There's the link here to be available in the file as well for you to use. Okay, so you can see this guy is scrolling down now. Okay, so where are we? I want to close this guy. So this is the general form data handle, and this really take me about an hour. Not that it's difficult, more work of thinking. So it has a lot of parameters, about 6 or 7 parameters. I'll explain what they do and how to use them. So first of all, this is the ajax call. This is a parameter. When you say post, you can open an ajax through post to get method. So I'm using post method, and it takes 3 parameters, which is I think more than 3, but normally 3. I don't know again, but I know it takes up to 3 parameters, which the first one is the URL, the second one is the param, which is the form data, and the last one is the callback, the reference to what you want to do after this tool has been taken. Okay, so after taking this guy, before taking this guy, you can see that I have opened the loader, which is the form, reference it to this very form, and then I have turned that guy to true, open loader. So I have turned the disable to true. So now is if true is coming inside here, if true, and then the test is now empty. So the test is empty. Notice the loader is opened. So that's just ajax. I think asynchronous JavaScript in objects notation or something. Yeah. So these are the open loader. If false, then I have closed it, and you can see that all the boolean attributes, these were prop, which is disabled. You know, you can see them being disabled. So I have opened the game, make it false after you've sent back. So this is a debug error, mainly for developer. If you want to see if maybe something is wrong with your submit or anything, you want to see the code, you just turn this guy to true when calling it, when calling this function, and it will reference the alert here. So if normal, if true, that means I want to submit the form normal. Okay, so how will you understand this? I'll go into the ajax, and this is the mail. This is just the configuration file. I have nothing to do with this again after the link. So this is the main file here. So I'll use this to understand, make you understand more better. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do now. This is the user login, and then the user login is here, which is the index file. So I want to close the sky and make you understand how this works. So I want to clean this. You know, maybe most of you will ask me why I'm not using the method post, because I've already defined the method post inside this guy here. So I don't need to write code that I don't want again. And even though you add it here, it does not mean anything. It's a method post, but to me it's not professional. I don't need it, and whatever I don't need, I don't use it. Just on submit. It is better this way. On submit, I want to return this very function, which is user log. It is a function, and I want to pass this inside of it as a reference to what I want to supply here, like a parameter. So this is the file. Then, you know, this is a submit file. If I should close that, this is it. There's a function. It's gonna be like this. Okay, so I already referenced a lot of comments here, just line by line how you should arrange it. And here is also demo, line by line how you should arrange it. Okay, so I said submit form data, return submit form data, because I need to return the form data here. Okay, so this is the form, which is the first one, and this is the tests. You know, you can see login. If I should write some couple of things there and refresh this page, it's gonna change to that data there. Okay, so I just don't want to write in this code inside. If I have 10,000, I just need to come to one place, change what I want. I need to affect all. That's the essence of development. You know, lazy people like us, you need to look for a very good and easy way to make progress in your code. That's just it. So right here we have the file. This is the path to the file that I want to access now, or that I'm sending the data to, which is the user login. I think I should close some of this. Okay, then this, you know, I just told you on submit, that's how you call all your functions. Even though there are 10,000 of functions, just those different functions right now. There's a return user registration. I want to register user log, just like that. That's all. And there's the button here. You can see the button. I have a span inside. I have an image inside, which is what I added here in the loader. The parent, which is the form, find it, the button, which is the class, find submit, span, change the HTML, and the image, remove hidden. So it's simple as that. So this is the file that I want to reference here. This is not a file, you can see. And then I want to set submit to true, the normal to true, because I want to submit it. So if I set to false, that means I don't want to submit. It is false. It will go and receive, but it would not submit. It is false. Okay, he actually went into this guy and come back with the response, but it does not pick everything and submit, because I don't want to submit. So it actually end in this place. It went into this file, it collected everything, it passed through this place, and normal was not true, so it could not pass all the data to me, but it collected those inside here but could not pass it down to me, so I could not use it. Okay, so that's just what it does there. If you say true, you don't want to use it. If you say false, you want to use it. So the debug error. So now I've set it back to true. So this is a debug error, second to the last. I want to send back to true. Debug error. That means I want to see the debug error. You see the error now. There's an error message and the debug. And for you to understand that, I wish I'm gonna add some mistake here. Let's call this users. Inside of user, there's no class like that, and when you call it, you're gonna see some error. But if you don't have that, this is a very, very tough one. Believe me, from using ajax, it is the most annoying thing. You see, there's no response and you would not know. It's sent, it comes back, but there's no response. Why? It's working, but there's no response. Okay, so that is why that is for developer mode only. So if you set to true, it will give you a response. And this is just that fatal error, class users not found in C user something in line 4. So you just go to your file 1 2 3 4 users not found, which is true because we go inside your URL, the class is user and not users. So that's just how your debugger works, and very, very nice and helpful. So right now you can see everything is working. So you can be able to turn it off because right now it's okay. So this is the last one, which is the scroll type. Do you want to scroll, true or false? It is false. I don't want to scroll, but I love scroll. So right now it's not scrolling, but I do love scrolling. So I'm gonna off it for now, or just turn it on. Sorry, I love scrolling, by the way. Okay, so that's just everything. There is nothing more. And the same thing with the registration. There's nothing more. The registration, you can do everything with callback, but I just delayed for 3 seconds and I wanted to reload the page. You can do anything you want to do after the callback, and it does not necessarily mean you should do something after a callback. So this guy, after a callback, I want to push it into the home. I want to log you in. So right now, if I should do this, and the password is 123, it will come back. Logging in is a success now. But if I do this, you can see different codes. That's why I use different 3 different kinds of colors here, or 3 different kind of error response. We have warning, password or username is incorrect. We have failure, which is this, password must be provided, and we have success, which is okay. Success, okay. Yeah, this is success. Okay, so basically this is just what it is. And if I should refresh the page, I think it will log me in now because I'm already logged in. Why did not push it inside? So I'm logging, Wycombe Peterson, just the name, echo everything back to yourself, that this, that, just simple as that. So I'm gonna log it now, and then I'm gonna turn on remember me, and then 1 2 3 and click. So you've logged me in, and you can see the remember me is not on today, plus I think 10 days or so. How many days I added again? Well, that's just how it works. So if you log out, I don't want the link to leave, but in case the link leaves, it does not matter or harm the system at all. Okay, so Okay, let's log in again. Let's use the automatic system. Let's use the automatic system. So I'm logged in, and what I want to do now, I want to delete this guy here. And if I delete that guy, it's gonna log out. So, and you can see the remember user is on. So I want to copy that guy and change the value. Then in here's the file, which is here, automatic login. I committed it out, so I want to on it again. Let's test it. I refresh the page. It's not logging me in because there's something wrong with the user code. But if I should add the original one, as long as it is okay, it will log in using this key. I'm already logged in, and if I should go back, it will take me back in because I'm already logged in. I should just log out and I'll be able to go back. So you see, it's just simple as that. So let me show you what I did here, which is inside the URL. These are just classes, so you need to understand this. Just to generate the ID moment 26 minutes. Wow, this is just to generate the ID. And you know this, let me show you something. Okay, here, generating ID, I use an integer to hold the user ID and big int for the date. So for integers, if I should cut this guy at 0, it will take the value 0 because I am the one entering it there. But when you reference the 0 inside it from for some with a class, not even with a class, with a form data, if you send it, pushing a data into the database, and then if that guy is not a string or varchar, the first 0, if there's a 0 here, to remove the very first 0 and start with 9. So if maybe your code or your user ID ought to be 88 in length, you will be seeing 787878. All the ones that start with 0 will be gone. So that is why I started mine with 9, then concatenate with these guys. So the user, the password is just how you, different ways of encrypted password, but these, I just added this. And this is the sorting type, sort with testing. And this is the user ID, and okay, I've not explained this. So there's a function outside of the class, as you can see. So I call the class inside here. Now it's just the database. I collected the database because it's a function and I can access it anywhere I want. The database is inside the configuration here, so I can access it anywhere I want. Function inside of a function allowed. So you just take out the full steps where verify equals to this guy. I bind a parameter, the verify is equals to this guy. Okay, and then collected it. This the get the user, and where verify is equals to the section. That means I'm already logged in. Where did I use this guy? Let me show you. So once I'm logged in, so this is the home. Let me log in. Okay, I'm logged inside the home now. So this is the home. This is the index file for the home. Okay, so this is the index file. I check user. First of all, I need to add the URL, link to the URL path, include. I check the user. I set the correct page to the cookie, and then user is equal to this very guy here. So now I can use user to access all the all the class variables. If you say email, if I have to echo this out, you will see the email, because the email is already collecting everyone here from this within using the verify ID, because right here the verify is a unique key for just one person. I mean to say, sorry. the unique key for just one person. So this is the automatic login. First of all, I color the domain, as a super globers, and I want to say if this guy is set, if I did not add it like this, it will throw error saying I think undefined index. Yeah, so I'm gonna put it inside. If it is set, then this guy, which is a new variable, is equals to that guy. Then I'll come here again. If the cookie, remember user, if it's set, I want to do all this within its scope. I don't need to put X, because if I say X, if it's not set, if I say X, it's not just like wasting your time. Or X redirect. If I said X redirect again, it will be two redirecting and the page will not load anymore once there's more than one request of redirection to the same place. Once this redirect, the other one will redirect, so it won't work. And don't forget, inside your functions, I've already made some redirection that just check for user that is logged in, the one that is not logged in. So you just read these, just basically normal things, and then I select everything from the user where the verify, which is the unique key, is equals to what is inside the cookie, and I fetch everybody out. So those that I fetch, I want to use it to check if it is the same with the cookie. If it is the same, then I want to put the user, which is this user that I've used within the scope of this automatic login. I want to push it inside the section, which is an array. As an object, it's going to go inside as an object. If I should open it here, which is TMP, should be this, edit. If I push it here, so you see user O, this is the name of the object, this is O of user, 8 string, it's just gonna serialize it. User ID is S, which is string, 7 digits, 7 length. This is name, string 8, just like that, so on. So that is how that's what that does here. I put it inside and check if the page link is set. So if the page link is set, which is this guy, and the link that is inside this very place, look at the link now. This is the link. So if I should echo that link to myself and show you. Okay, where is it? A moment. You should call it this guy, echo or vadump. Is that gonna work? Okay, so I'm eventually collecting the values that is inside this link. This is where it is, which is this very page. Okay, so that's what I'm referencing to. Okay, so basically that's just how everything works, and that's all. So because of time, I'm just gonna, because if I should explain further, it will be, believe me, to be up to an hour, because I did a lot of things here. But you need to understand, because I add a lot of comments that will make you understand. So this is the same exact response code that I have the same values with the one I used here. The same thing. It's gonna be the same, so that it match. If you send from this guy, then you're also gonna know from JS that okay, this is what I'm sending from PHP as well. Okay, so that's it. So what am I gonna close now? I'm gonna close that guy. I'm done. I'm gonna close this guy. I'm done. There's nothing here. So okay, so I come here. You can remove it. So this is just basically how you sleep your work. If you're on development mode, you need to sleep your work, because if you do not sleep, you won't notice the beauty of the error within your code. Imagine I just want to click and I just think it is this fast. When you publish online, it is not fast at all. When you publish, depending on someone's network, the country, their browser from, so just feel as if you have a bad network, and Let's wait and see. You'll be able to see if maybe the image is loading or not. And you see, oh, this place is disabled. And to rectify if maybe it has an issue, if the image is not working or something. So that's why you use the sleep mode. Once you're done, you can just remove it, but I just leave it at 1 now. You can remove it itself. So this is the best way to collect from inputs. You can use it's called input post, input get, whatever. And there's another one here, feature, I think feature flag. So if you want a flag, allow encode map, you know, they're just different kind of things, and you can just read about what each one stands for, what they do. Okay, so this is an error array. I've pasted inside this place. Okay, I think I have some. Okay. So what will I do here? Just a moment. Think. Let me look for how do I explain it. Okay, yeah. I'm just gonna collapse everybody so I can explain more better. Okay, there's this guy here. So there's it. So error array is a new variable, and I've turned it to an array here. Okay, check error. You can see it here. There's a check error. It's gonna take array variable and message. Once it take it, it's gonna trim the variable first if it is empty. You know, trim the variable and check if it is empty. So you check the error array. I'm gonna count. If it is 0, that means there is no error. All these are passed successfully, no error. X, if it is not 0, then I want to come here and I want to implode. You know, implode. I want to show the array implode using a bracket, using a break. So this is basically how I did it. And this is the response. The response is failure. If I change the response to success, yeah, which is the response code, then it will be showing green. Success response code. It wanted a login because the response code, when it's sausage, actually mean it is green. As in, when it's success in the response code, this is what I did here. Submit the form data. So the type is gonna check for everything here. Let me show you once again. So this is what I did. Say when the type is success. Where is it? Okay, yeah. When the response is success, then process all these guys, and after data, process the after data. Okay, so it's trying to process this after data by assigning. So it assigned, and then the assigned take it back here because it is not working. Okay, so I just want to show you some real quick example of what I mean. So I can just add the one in there better. Okay, so whichever you want to use, I just make it 3 different kind of code, different kind of colors for you to play with and use. Does not necessarily mean you use this. You can use one code to handle this. If maybe, yes, you can see this red, and then if this is wrong, still the same thing. So that's just it. And this is how you log in. So let me quickly tell you about the most important part, which is the registration. So we're gonna register now and wait for one email. So this is what I'm talking about. This is OB flush. Then this is a new user. I've collected everybody. Okay, yes. Okay, so first of all, this is what I do here. This is trim and encrypt the password. I trim the password. You know, when you use trim, you remove the white space from the beginning and ending only, not within the string. So now there's a password, and then I have encrypted with the same user. Use this to encrypt the password, and then you know this encrypt reference the password. Where it is. Why am I always closing this files? Okay, this encrypt password, which is this that password, equal to the encrypt this, isn't this guy? This is how to sort it with this sorting. So right now I have not passed anything inside the password before, but here I'm not pausing, because now the password is not empty. There's a value inside this password, and it's equals to the user slash this guy. So when I call this guy, definitely whatever is inside will be passed through inside this guy. I don't know how to explain the classes very well, but you need to understand classes. It's just what I use mostly. So here I want to connect to database and search first if the email exists, because here oh, I did not search well. Okay, yes, if it's email exists, that is registration. Yeah. Okay, so if the email exists, it's gonna tell me email exists. So let's register user here. Okay, this email, and then you can use give. So please select something. I can just say meanwhile Peter does not mean in date of birth. Can you select anything there? And you can see there's another color. User with that email already exists. This is what we did here. User with the email already exists. And if I'm to use another response to handle that, you're gonna see red. So that's it. So if it does not exist with that email, I can call. Oh, okay, I have one email opened. What a dang. I don't think my mouse is working anymore. Dang. Wasting of time. Okay, so